All right, welcome in, everybody. Glad to see you late on this Wednesday night. Are your hearts beating fast? Did that one stress you out a little bit? How many years off your life did that game just take? But it doesn't matter. Ole Miss beats Texas, moves to 5-3 in the SEC, a massive win. Not so much because of what that win does to your resume, which it certainly won't hurt. Texas is a good basketball team. They had beaten two ranked teams in a row. In the SEC, basically everybody, almost everybody, is a good win. So it's a huge win, not necessarily because of opponent, although again that doesn't hurt you at all. It could help you. It's a big win because of how they got it, what they had to do down the stretch to secure the win, and then now what it means for their tournament resume, for just win total, getting some momentum back, building some confidence back. All of those things were gained tonight with a win for Ole Miss over Texas. So we're here to talk about it. I'm going to do the box score thing as we always do, and then I'll read your comments because that's why I want you here. I want you guys to react to this. So we'll get what you think after I tell you, number one, that this is the Rebel Report. Again, my name is Michael Borky. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Wherever you get your podcast, just search Rebel Report, subscribe, and leave a rating and a review. And this edition and every edition of the show is presented by the Gregory Law Firm. DJ Gregory of the Gregory Law Firm. He's in Fulton, Mississippi, but he can take care of you anywhere in this great state. If you're a small business owner and you need some legal advice, or you want to start a small business and you don't really know legally what you need to do to get that off the ground, DJ Gregory, the Gregory Law Firm, 662-397-9799. Also, personal injury and contract disputes. So if you've been personally injured, don't delay another second. Call DJ Gregory of the Gregory Law Firm today at 662-397-9799. Ole Miss wins 72-69 over Texas. Ole Miss only shot 40% from the field, 39.7, 40% from the field, made 7 of their 21 threes. So not great shooting nights for Ole Miss. But here is something that we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks, really. They got to the free throw line 25 times. They took 25 free throws. They missed 6 of them, but they made 19 free throws to Texas's 12. So there, in part, is your difference in the game, is Ole Miss attacked the basket a lot more. They created contact from Texas, got to the line more, and they won that stat category. And I think that was the difference in the game for Ole Miss tonight compared to their last few games, is they were much more intentional about attacking the basket. Did they still have stretches of offense where they kind of disappeared? Did they still make some mistakes tonight? Yes, they did both of those things. But it's college basketball. Nobody's perfect. But Ole Miss getting to the free throw line and attacking the basket is something that they did not do good enough over their 3-game slide. They did it well enough tonight, and I think that is the difference in the game. Texas out-rebounded Ole Miss by 9. Ole Miss gave up 14 offensive rebounds. That was an early issue for the team in the game, but it kind of settled in late. Ole Miss had 5 steals, only 4 turnovers for Ole Miss, but 5 steals, 4 blocks, only turned the basketball over 4 times. They did a much better job at protecting the basketball than they have over the last few games. There's another stat that tells you the difference between winning and losing in a close game like this. They didn't turn it over. Were there a couple of weird possessions down the stretch where it looked like they were anticipating contact? Brakefield did it once. I think Padula did it once as well. But either way, you had moments where you took kind of a bad shot, really anticipating contact, but generally speaking, they protected the basketball. They did not make stupid mistakes, or as many stupid mistakes down the stretch, and that is the difference between winning and losing. Padula led the team in scoring. He was very important in a couple of different ways to spark a mini run for Ole Miss, or to stop a Texas run, making some big outside shots. He was 7 of 14 from the field, was 4 of 7 from 3, also added 5 assists and 0. The big 0 turnovers, 5 assists and 0 turnovers. Big night for Sean Padula. You had a really good night from Dre Davis. He had 17 points, but I think his best contribution tonight was defensively. Dre Davis was a handful defensively and also added 17 points. So I feel like I am, not giving him enough credit for what a good offensive game he had. Again, being 6 of 11 from the field, made 2 of his 4 threes, 7 boards, but had 2 blocks and a steal and was really a handful defensively. So I liked his overall game tonight, not just on the scoreboard, but also how he impacted it defensively. I thought Davis had his best game since Louisville, for sure, for Ole Miss. Jamin Brakefield off the bench struggled at times for Ole Miss tonight. Really didn't have his best game, and yet he had 16 points, 4 blocks, and 4 steals. So again, another one of those situations where you look at his stat line. Davis was more efficient, but he was 5 of 13, missed all of his threes, but 4 blocks, 4 steals, was 6 of 7 from the free throw line, and was really, really good late, was Brakefield at times. So those were your only Rebels in double figures. But how about Barnes? Devin Barnes for Ole Miss. Redemption. I mean, couldn't be happier for him in that moment because, he was the guy that missed the front end of a 1-and-1 that led to an Ole Miss loss. And he got redemption tonight, knocking down both of those free throws that iced the game. And he was 6 of 6 from the free throw line. Also had 5 boards and a pair of assists as well. But for him to step up in that moment and make those 2 shots after what happened, not too terribly long ago, I felt happy for him. Good for him getting redemption from that, sealing a game against Texas, ice cold. Just mental toughness to make those 2 free throws and seal the game for Ole Miss in that spot. This is a tough basketball team. It really is a tough basketball team because yet again they had a situation where they got off to a really slow start. What was it, 11-2? And there was a point in the first half where Ole Miss was down 14. They were down 14, and Texas had the basketball. And if I remember correctly, they got up a 3-point shot. Either way, Ole Miss was down 14, playing defense in the first half, and they went into the locker room down 4. And then multiple times in the second half, you would have you would get out to a 2-point lead. Texas would respond. Ole Miss got out of the gate well in the second half, kind of punched Texas in the mouth, but they responded, and then Texas would make a big shot, and then Ole Miss would make a big shot, and it was just dueling punches back and forth, and they just absorbed them, and they, in the clutch, survived, as opposed to doing the things like they did against Texas A&M, of course, that kept them out of the game. They did the things that kept them in the game. They played good defense. They didn't turn the ball over. They made their free throws, and they win. There is no such thing as an ugly win in the SEC. A win is simply a win. Ole Miss got it. I imagine there is a deep sigh of relief in that locker room right now, just because of not only getting a win after a 3-game slide, but getting a win in that manner. I think that game being close down the stretch and them needing to make a couple of free throws and them needing to get a stop and those kind of things can really help kind of reset the psyche of a team that struggled down the stretch in previous games. They were the better team in the clutch tonight than Texas was, and that's why they got a win. You haven't been able to say that for a couple of weeks now, so that you think should rebuild the confidence for this team, on top of also, just giving them that 5th win. Now, I mean, everybody says the magic number is 8. If you believe them, and I do, 3 more wins gets you in the NCAA tournament. So big for the psyche, big to do that at home as well, in front of your home crowd. A little bit smaller than last week, but still in front of your home crowd. Get your fan base to kind of re-engage into basketball. Again, your casuals anyway. So you get a win at home. You get that 5th win, so you're only 3 away from basically guaranteeing yourself a tournament bid. You did it in the clutch and showed that you can win games that way. You protected the basketball. Barnes made a couple of clutch free throws after what happened previously. That is a good mental win. You're down 14, playing defense, and you cut it to 4 before the half. That was a mentally tough win for Ole Miss tonight. And that one, that one, I think, can carry some morale going into these 2 difficult games with Auburn and Kentucky at home. Should be amazing environments, 2 really difficult asks for Ole Miss. Matt Morrell's got to get healthy. Poor guy's just not healthy, not anywhere close to 100%. But through his clear injury, clearly not being 100%, he played lockdown defense down the stretch as well. So what is his stat line here? Matt Morrell was 1 of 4. Did have 4 assists and 2 steals, by the way. Only 3 points on the night, but through the obvious injury, he played great defense on a couple of possessions there down the stretch to, again, help contribute to the win. So, really mentally tough win for Ole Miss. We'll get your responses in the comment section after I tell you the podcast is brought to you in part by Toyota of Brookhaven. If you want a low interest rate, I know I don't consume the news very much, but I know interest rates on things like credit cards and houses are incredibly high. Ask me how I know. But Toyota of Brookhaven for all in-stock Tundras. So if you want a Tundra, which is a great-looking truck, by the way, as low as 1.99% on 48 months if you want a new Tundra. Use promo code Rebel Report either if you're shopping online, so you don't need to be in Brookhaven to shop at Toyota of Brookhaven. But if you're shopping online at their website, toyotaofbrookhaven.com, use the code Rebel Report, $1,000 off on any in-stock new Toyota, or tell them in person that you heard it from me. If you go to Toyota of Brookhaven, $1,000 on me. Seriously, $1,000 on me at Toyota of Brookhaven. They're on exit 40 in Brookhaven, online at toyotaofbrookhaven.com. Great service, great savings at Toyota of Brookhaven. They, I promise you, will deliver. Outstanding people there at Toyota of Brookhaven, and an outstanding win for Ole Miss. And let's talk about it. First comment, I'm sorry for what I said about you, Devin Barnes. Yeah. Yeah. That was clutch. And you know how good that second free throw going in and then Texas missing that three basically at the buzzer. Do you know how good he felt after that? Something like what happened, I say what happened to him, but something like missing the shot that he did can weigh on you probably. And so you kind of shake that demon off your back a little bit. It's a dub. Yes, it is. That is all that matters. Definition of a hard-fought win tonight, 100%. Mentally tough. Mentally tough for sure. Score update from Starkville. Yeah, they lost tonight. Josh Hubbard finally, though, came out of his shell. Really, really, really good night for him. That was his best game this season by a long shot. They kind of stumbled down the stretch. We'll talk about that on the radio show tomorrow. You guys aren't here for that. You say, admittedly, a basketball casual and just now getting into it. If we make the tournament, how would we fare based on how we're playing lately? So this is a cop-out answer, but it's also the correct answer. It is exclusively dependent on matchups. There are teams that Ole Miss will match up great against, and there are teams that Ole Miss will match up terribly against. It is exclusively your ability to go deep in the NCAA tournament is almost exclusively, unless you're one of the best teams in college basketball, dependent on who you're matched up with and what kind of style of basketball they play. So if they get the right draw and they make the tournament, they most certainly can defend their way into multiple wins in the NCAA tournament. It's all about matchups, though. So there's no way of knowing until we see what kind of draw they would get if they make the tournament. But, I mean, I'm telling you, man, I love the way this team defends. Texas tonight, good offensive basketball team in Texas with a great player in Johnson, who he himself kind of went off tonight too, but not really efficient, though. He was 6 of 16, but he did get to the free throw line 8 times. Texas's shooting splits were 39.7, same as Ole Miss, by the way. They shot equal percentage tonight. 39.7, 22.7, and they did make 12 of their 14 free throws, but they only got to the free throw line 14 times. So Ole Miss held them to 23% shooting, turned them over 11 times, blocked 4 of their shots. So it was a good defensive night for Ole Miss yet again, even after that weird start that they got off to. Team win, shut down their ace in the second half. He did have a clean look at the end, though. Agree with you about getting to the line. Also, we protected the ball extremely well. 1 turnover in the second. Absolutely. Appreciate you being here, Mike. I haven't seen you yet in the chat, so glad to see you, man. Hope you stick around. Hell yes, great job on the podcast, Michael. Thank you, Michael. It sucks that Morrell is nowhere near healthy. Yeah, it really is a shame, man, because a healthy Matt Morrell would really be helping this team in all facets, I think. And it was abundantly clear tonight that he is nowhere close to 100%, and he's just kind of gritting through it. And you love that out of a player, right? You admire his desire to gut it out the way he has. And again, he played really good defense in those final few possessions, despite being very clearly not anywhere close to 100%. Part of me wonders if I mean, this is probably a stupid thing to say. Forgive me if it is, but Part of me wonders if they don't give him like a week off to try to recover. I mean, it looks brutal and it looks painful, but man, if he's going to defend like that, he can help you win, obviously. UK Ole Miss could be the quickest game ever. Neither team likes to get to the line. Ole Miss did tonight, though. Dre Davis, baby, 18, 7, 2, and 1. Again, like I said before, as good and efficient as he was offensively tonight, I think that his best stuff tonight was defensively and then getting those 7 boards. He'll be there Tuesday in Oxford. Need a lot of Ole Miss fans to show up because it'll be a ton of blue. It always is. It always is. But I expect Kentucky's always a draw. So I think it'll be a great atmosphere. You got to know that Beard had this game circled. Probably some interesting emotions in that game for sure. Morrell looks like an oblique from his movement injury-wise. Wasn't Dre Davis a top 5 portal player? I don't know about top 5 portal player, but when they picked him up, this is what you expected out of him. This was what he was supposed to be when they signed him, a guy that can give them good offense, but also long, athletic defender. Minus 11 rebounding and awful defense in the last 8 seconds. Yeah, the film is not going to be too kind to giving him an open look from 3. That's for sure. But I think generally speaking tonight they did, though, play good defensive basketball, especially in the second half. I mean, Johnson was going off and, was kind of a non-factor in the second half. So Texas is insane from the stripe. But Ole Miss did a good job of defending by defending while also not fouling. So the defense will get overshadowed by poor rebounding. Yeah, and there was a couple. There's always a couple that are like weird bounces and stuff like that. But there's still, I think there's still opportunity for them to be better there. There are things that they're still like positioning is still off sometimes. Like it feels like there's some basketball fundamental issue with their rebounding sometimes. But I don't know what the heck I'm looking at apparently. So you know how it is. Only 4 turnovers by Ole Miss for the game. Way better job by Padula. Yeah, he had one mistake kind of late, but made a bunch of big shots. And I didn't hate, by the way, when they went for the 2-for-1. I thought he got a good look. He just kind of missed it. I don't hate the decision there to go ahead and give yourself an opportunity to get a second shot, to not use the entire shot clock, to go 2-for-1. And I liked the look. I mean, Padula has been very good for them. He got a good look. He made a nice move. He just kind of missed it. Maybe rushed it a touch, but I really didn't hate the decision there at all. It just didn't work in the moment. But that was not a mistake. Or at least I don't think that was a mistake. I think it was a good decision. They were much better at protecting the basketball tonight. Like I said before, there was a few possessions where it feels like they kind of rushed a bad shot, anticipating a foul. But I would much rather them anticipate a foul because they're creating contact, as opposed to what they've done at times, over the last few games in this losing streak. They attacked the basket. They went after Texas, and it wasn't just one guy. It was everybody. I mean, look at the free throw distribution for Ole Miss. Dia 4, and he didn't play much in the second half. Padula 2, Morrell 2, Davis 4, Brakefield 6, Barnes 6, or Brakefield 7, Barnes 6. So it wasn't just one guy. They were attacking Texas, and because of that, they got Texas in foul trouble. They had to defend them differently. That was what I've been talking about with this team is why don't they attack the basket and try to create contact more? Why don't they do it? Doesn't matter now because they did it. This just needs to be more of what they do moving forward. Not pretty, but an amazing win. That's all that matters, man. As long as they get the W, it does not matter. Looked like Johnson was yelling at his teammates the whole game. I didn't notice that. I'll tell you, I believe you, though. I didn't notice that. Shout out to Scottie Pippen tonight. Yeah, I love how random that was. We had a texter on the radio show today, like right before the show's ending. He's like, Scottie Pippen's at Funky's right now. No, he said Pippen Sr. is at Funky's right now, is what he said. And I replied, like, because you can text back on our text line through our computer. And I was like, Scottie Pippen? And he was like, yeah, Scottie Pippen's here at Funky's right now. Okay. I know his kid's in Memphis, but he got a front row seat to a really good game. So I guess their second half team not looking great off the tip. No baskets in the first 5 minutes. They have struggled because you're the callback to the question about being a casual basketball fan. Glad that you're giving it a shot, though, and checking in because it's fun, man. And especially if the team can make the tournament, that's so much fun. And so I'm glad you're here. They have struggled starting games this season. So they don't do a good job helping the helper. Texas also did a really good job at cutting to the basket as well. They were well prepared for what Ole Miss does defensively tonight. Padula forced it at the end and got it to go. Yeah, that oh gosh, let me find the play-by-play to tell you exactly when that happened. Let me scroll down. With 46 seconds. Oh, wait, no. That's the first half. Hold on. Where the heck is this? There we go. Sorry. When did he make that drive? And so the one at 35 seconds, I did not hate at all. It was with a minute two. It was a minute two. It was tied at 68. And that little mid-range that he hit was clutch. That was clutch. Has Morgan Freeman been to any games this year? He's usually there, so I don't know, but he does in the past anyway. He's made he's made a lot of them. So Scottie Pippen was at the Vandy Ole Miss game 3 years ago. Just loves to hoop, man. He loves basketball. Appreciate you, Mikey. Glad you're here, man. And I love your hometown of Tupelo. Was up there, oh gosh, I say a few weeks ago, but it's been longer than that now. But I always enjoy my time in Tupelo. Don't get to get up there in Northeast Mississippi enough, but I know that that's a good, strong market for us for the radio show. So appreciate you being here, man. Davis back cutting is going to be a go-to play. Yeah, and they passed it really well a couple of times too. And he was good at finishing at the basket tonight as well. Loved seeing Davis hyped up tonight. Yeah, he was there. There were some emotions out of him, some good emotions out of him in that game. Scotty and Beard have the same agent. I didn't know that. Did not know that. What about how good it must have felt for Barnes to get those 2 free throws and that rebound to seal it after absolutely choking it previously in that spot? See, honestly, I was the second the ball hit off the rim and somebody grabbed it, I immediately started getting this ready. So I didn't realize that he was also the one to get the rebound as well. So that makes that moment even better. And yeah, there it is. No, this says Dre Davis defensive rebound, but I'll take your word for it. Either way, yes, to sink those 2 free throws, has got to feel good. I think he's going to sleep well tonight after that, and he deserves it. He absolutely deserves it. He could have passed out when he got that rebound. He could have passed out of it. Padula was calling for the ball, but I mean, he just kind of held on to it, took the foul, and then walked up to the line. And you could see at the first one, he kind of took a deep breath with the ball and just sunk them both. Just ice water type stuff from him. And as a result, his team gets a big win. So they're back on track is how I would describe it. They're absolutely back on track. Frankly, they should be 6-2 in the league. But look, the goal is to make the tournament. I still think that they've got 4 more wins in them because we talked about this last night. I think that they're going to go 9-9 in the league. I'm still kind of holding to that prediction, and one of them had to come tonight. But they are back on track. That is the biggest takeaway from tonight. They're back on track, and they won a game in the clutch, and that is something that they've struggled with. So really good stuff from Ole Miss tonight. We'll be back live tomorrow. because why the heck not? We'll be back live tomorrow. Auburn coming to town on Saturday. That's a big one. And it's a really big one. And that environment should be absolutely nuts. By the way, Auburn fans travel like crazy for basketball. You're going to be surprised at how many Auburn fans are around for that. But big one on Saturday. Big one tonight, though. Ole Miss gets the win 72-69 over Texas. And yeah, you guys are the best. Thank you for being here. We'll be back live tomorrow night. I'll see you then.